Coming up on the pod, I thought Stephenie was going to glide into the top 7 in Survivor 50. Instead, Jonathan had other ideas. Jonathan decides to back the truck up and down over her in episode 10, and Stephenie is voted out of the game. My pal Mike comes on next. We're going to break it all down. But first, a little music from my friends at Prosper. Hello, and welcome. And following the somewhat epic 10th episode of Survivor Season 50, I had to have this guy back on, my good pal Mike. He's going to talk me down off the ledge because Mike, and let's just get to it here. Last week, I said Stephenie had an outstanding chance to win this game. Stephenie should have roller skated into the top 7 and then had to make her big move. I get it. Coming into the episode, all the heat was on Devins, and I think he was dead here without something major happening. Mm-hmm. Something major happened, and we'll get to the MRBEAST of it.
Oh, yes.
But you've got Jonathan, you've got Joe, you've got Aubrey, all people who make sense to be out of this game before Stephenie. What the heck happened?
Kevin, well, first off, thank you again for having me. It's been a few weeks. I've missed it. I've been listening. Your opinions have been great. I'm loving the excitement that we're getting into.
This is going to be like therapy for me. I need you to talk me down.
Listen, the thing is, I don't know if I'm the best person to talk you down. I get worked up too, so I don't know if this is a good recipe, Kevin. But you know what? We'll help each other out here. Listen, I think we saw a little bit of like Stephenie did not really come in playing a game that was clean. I think she wanted to be continuous, to be this loyal person to the people around her. I mean, we saw that was her big MO with what she wanted to do with this group. And in a way, I think that got her because she really didn't go after Jonathan very much when clearly he was the one that kind of started stirring this around.
Jonathan was dead. And somehow he backed the truck up over Stephenie.
Yeah, I just also think, you know what it is? In the scene of Stephenie, like, clearly lying to Cirie as she's talking to her, I think there's so many people that can say, and even Stephenie has made many of exit press about her opinions and, quite honestly, bitterness towards Cirie and all of this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think she's taking much accountability for the fact that, like, yes, Cirie betrayed you, but it's because Cirie could read that you were lying to her face. Yeah. And I think Jonathan was a better liar than Stephenie, honestly. I'm not a big fan of Jonathan, but Stephenie just made herself look guilty. So in a way, when all of this madness was happening at Tribal, and we can talk about the MRBEAST of it all, and maybe whether we call it editing or whatnot, and we saw more of Stephenie's flaws than what Devin was at. I don't know. I almost felt like in that Tribal, whether the MRBEAST thing happened or not, even before that with Devin's kind of laying it all out there, being like, Stephenie said this to me, laid it all out perfectly. I actually think that was a more impactful move, what Devin's did there, than even the flip of the coin. So I actually think that Stephenie might have been going with or without the safety of Devin's, because it just, though there were other people's hands in the pot of everything that was going on with the talk of let's target Ozzy, Stephenie just was a clear liar in all of this, but she also wasn't willing to take accountability and was very passive at Tribal. You even have Rizzo schooling her about like, well, I would never put a name out. Stephenie, then what are you doing here? Like, no offense, like, what are you doing? So I think the whole loyalty thing got to her in the sense that, I would never throw a name out. I'm so loyal to everybody. And then at the same time saying that you wouldn't go after Jonathan because you're so loyal to him. Or even Joe. Joe's the one that kind of brought it to Cirie. So like, go after these people who you had these previous relationships with, who are ready to throw you under the bus. Yeah, I think we saw this time around that Stephenie, listen, she was great in challenges. She proved herself what she was. And that's honestly was her legacy in Palau. She was great in the challenges. She was the one who outlasted everybody on the tribe because the tribe was not great, but she was the only one who lasted. So her legacy has never really been. I look back at Guatemala and it's a shame. I really used to, as a kid, as a teenager, I loved Stephenie. Like, I remember, like, she was the person who lasted when she came back for Guatemala, and I do think she played a really, like, strong social game in Guatemala. But again, when I look back, it was kind of loyal to a lot of the people. When I really go back, my tune has really changed on Stephenie. I just think the game was sloppy. I think she's not a very good liar, and I just think she's navigated it all wrong. So it was a shame.
You hit the nail on the head with the lying. I remember way back, it seems like months ago now, in episode 2, Savannah on that orange beach saying, I am surrounded by 20 of the best liars in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who to trust. She wasn't talking about Stephenie, that's for sure.
Definitely not. Definitely not. That is for sure.
And what drives me crazy about this, and you hear Survivor players talk about it all the time. Kyle, when he stormed to victory in 48, he didn't just try and get people out. He was very nuanced about it. And there were very, very important moments. And in the new era, you saw this consistently from seasons 41 through 49, where it wasn't just, we're going to come at you and throw a name. Of course not. There's nuance to it. Maybe if Stephenie really wanted to get Ozzy 2 episodes ago, she should have been asking Cirie, when do you think it's time? Not, hey, by the way, I had a thought, what do you think of Ozzy? And then, like, are you kidding me? Like, this is not going to work.
It's all sloppy. And, it's just funny. I think I've seen Stephenie's many angles of press. I won't talk about some of it, but it's just...
Oh, let it out.
Yeah, please. There's just laced with spoilers. So anybody who listens to our many listeners on this podcast, if you don't want some of the season spoiled for you, don't listen to Stephenie's exit press, because it's laced with bitter, like, emotions and just some spoilers. So if you read between the lines, hopefully she's just a really good actress, and, like, maybe she's not lying and she's doing this to build us all up. But what it is laced with is, honestly, she just keeps going and saying, like, I had a relationship with Cirie and Ozzy, and I would never betray them, and, like, they were my people and all that. But it's like, at the same time, I don't believe that for a second. I think she would have stuck with Jonathan over Cirie, over Ozzy. She would have stuck with Colby. She would have stuck with all these people if they were there.
100%.
So these people, like, she's angry that Cirie and Ozzy went because they were kind of their backup plans, maybe, that they had, like, an agreement. But, like, girl, you lied to their faces. So, it's one of those things when you are supposed to be working with somebody and Cirie clocked it, and they are clearly lying to your face.
Yeah.
That right there means you cannot trust them. So Stephenie can say all she wanted, they made such a huge mistake. They shouldn't have gotten rid of me. I didn't put the name out there. Yeah, that's true. But you also didn't go running to Ozzy saying, Ozzy, they're throwing your name out there. You didn't. You lied to their faces.
100. So, she was 100% down.
Yeah.
She really was.
It's all ridiculous to me. It's a shame, because I was texting my friends, like, the Mike of 2010, when Stephenie got voted out second in Heroes vs. Villains, I was distraught. I loved Stephenie in Guatemala and Palau, and just over these years, this was not the showing that I really would have liked to see from Stephenie. But you know what? Here we are, and I think it was a deserved vote out. I think she played a bit of a sloppy game, and on to the next.
What drove me crazy, though, is, one, you can love Joe or hate Joe. Joe is predictable. Say that for him. Joe is always true to Joe. And when all the fever pitch came to a crescendo, Joe summed it up best. He went to Cirie and said, look, do we really want to, it's me, you, Rizzo, Ozzy, and Tiffany. Do we really want to vote out one of our own and turn the game over to Devin, Emily, Aubrey, Stephenie? Like, that's chaos. Mm-hmm. Jonathan. And, when you look at it from that perspective, Stephenie has no reason to be sitting on that beach plotting at this point. There are people who do. Aubrey is desperate. Devin is desperate. Jonathan knows he's got to do something here, or he's next. And it's like a gift from heaven. Here comes Stephenie charging into battle to save. I don't know who she thinks she's saving. There was no move to make here.
Agreed 100%.
Let's get Ozzy. Here's an idea. Let's get you.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think we see it time and time again that sometimes the people who aren't the ones that put it out there are the ones who tend to look the most guilty because they're just caught in a lie and or not being truthful to somebody who knows more information. At the end of the day, when you really think about it, Joe is the one that kind of threw her under the bus, whether it was unintentional or not. Personally, I think it was unintentional because Joe is Joe.
Can't help it.
So we will see what happens with that. But yeah, I just think it got her. And yes, do I think she was the best person to take out? No, I don't. I think you needed to take out a Jonathan. You needed to take out. Listen, I think Aubrey's threat level is rising. I really do. Here's what I'll say. I don't want to be in the camp of like, oh, they should have went after an Aubrey, a Emily, or a Devins yet. I don't think it was a bad move to take out a Joe, a Jonathan, or Stephenie. I mean, you don't want those three to go too deep into it again. Like we've talked about this loyalty and integrity alliance. Like they're never going to break. Yeah. I think Jonathan was the smarter choice. I do think that, and I hope that doesn't come back to bite Cirie and Ozzy.
He is a snake.
But I don't believe he is such a snake. I do not believe that Stephenie was like so with Cirie and Ozzy. I don't. But do I think Stephenie could have been easily manipulated a little bit more than maybe a Jonathan down the line? Yes. So I think Stephenie did to herself. I'm not going to say it was a bad decision by them. I think she kind of didn't give them much choice. So see you later, Stephenie.
You know, this wasn't a bad play on the level of like James getting voted out with 2 idols.
Yeah.
Or how Sandra got kind of duped by Denise in 40 and, and got sent packing. But this was pretty bad. Like when Stephenie woke up on the beach after the Christian vote out, like she should have had a long stretch and said, you know what? I could win this thing. Like I should be working with Cirie. We do Jonathan next. Huge target. Let's get him out. We do Rick after that. Either order, whatever you want. We then go after Aubrey, strategic mastermind. And then I show up in the top 7 with a steal a vote.
Yep.
I'm at 7 and I could steal a vote. This is my shot. And instead, it's like all logic and reasoning thrown out the window.
Because you know what it is, Kevin? This whole honor and integrity shtick that people go into the game with, it's not designed for the game of Survivor. At this point in time, and that's what we laugh, we joke, I want manipulation, I want this. Yes, I want that, but I want people to be adaptable. I want people to look at what's around them and decide, okay, this is the best move to get me to the next step. And sometimes it is lying and sometimes it is backstabbing. And I like that. But I don't need people to do it intentionally for no reason. Stephenie went in. She didn't want to betray Jonathan. These people I gave my word to, I would never go. That's one, boring. And two, it doesn't help you in the end. You have to, you can be loyal to someone, but also understand when moves need to be made that loyalty is not serving you anymore. So that was her at the end. I really think that's what got her. I just think you're stuck in this. Well, it didn't even cross her mind to throw Jonathan under the bus.
No.
Or go after Jonathan, or even work with Cirie and say, okay, at this point in time, like you said it perfectly, Kevin. I can go and be in top 7. Let me break away from Jonathan and Joe. Let me just focus in. Let me build a bond with Cirie, and not because she chose to lie to Cirie this episode.
Chose to lie.
So you could be now in your head, I'm going to be completely truthful to Cirie. And she wasn't. No. So she talks all this game, but I was so loyal to Cirie. No, you were not. If you wanted to be loyal to Cirie, forget the Jonathan, forget the Joe, and then pivot. But she wasn't. So here we are.
Yeah, and Cirie's superpower is she reads people. Like you could get away with being a little loose with the truth to some people, but you saw it this season. Cirie reads people really well. D reads people really well. There are some people you just can't do it with. And, you know, she should own up to it. She got her hand caught in the cookie jar.
Completely.
Big question time. Is this the last time we see Stephenie?
I think so. I also think if CBS is watching her exit interviews and realizing she's like partially spoiling things half the time, I think she won't get invited back.
Yeah.
But I think it is. I hate to say it, I think she's done.
All right. Let me ask you this, because I do want to talk about, you know, she love her game, certainly likable person, not somebody who I want playing for my life on the island, but she joins a very exclusive club of people who have played the game at least 4 times and never to have won. So I'm going to give you the list. You tell me where she fits in here.
Okay.
Ozzy, Suri, obviously, Coach Colby, Aubrey, and Rupert. They are the only other people to have played this game 4 times and not won. Pretty small list.
That is a small list.
You think Stephenie's in the top half of that list?
No. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't. And the funny part is, if you would have asked me this before 50, I would have said maybe. If you would have asked me this 10 years ago, I would have said probably. But like the names I mean, right there, Suri, Ozzy. I'd even at this point put Aubrey, and I think Aubrey's case is building at this point. I'm going to say that.
Aubrey is, if nothing else, a survivor.
Yes, 100%. Right there, we're at 3. I think. Who were the others?
You got Rupert.
Okay.
Rupert played during a very different time. Though.
Yes, very different time, very different style.
Very different style. Colby.
Yeah. Colby. Yeah, I would put Colby over Steph.
Coach.
We all know how I feel about Coach. They're even playing field. I think I'd have to think on that. Either way, they're both lower half.
I had put Stephenie when I was doing my pyramid. I had her right behind Richard Hatch and Russell. And
that is 2 good people to put her by.
I had her behind. I had her 37, and then I had her ahead of Malcolm, David Wright.
37, that's high. I think 37 is high.
You could make the case for lower, but what I would say is this. I think there was an opportunity for her to vault up here with like a run to the final tribal.
Yeah.
A strong kind of, I'm going to make 7. I'm going to utilize my steal a vote. I'm going to break up the Suri Ozzy Rizzo alliance. I'm going to get to final 5. I'm going to play well in community challenges. You know, to me, and this is just sort of my reaction, I think she kind of drops down probably 10 places into that, like, you know, behind Phil Shepard, behind Joe Agleam. You can make an argument she's had more of an impact on the game than, say, like an Aris.
Yeah.
Or, some of the one-time winners.
I think there's the levels. I think she is an iconic player in terms of like, I don't want to necessarily say iconic in terms of her gameplay. I think she has left a staple on the game. She will forever be known as the person who lasted and stayed on her own tribe on the own beach. I mean, it was an iconic moment in time. And there was a time where I really loved Stephenie. So iconic, yes. Do I think she's one of the best game players? Not really.
So you're saying if Jeff called you tomorrow and said, I need you to pick a player, Mike, to play for your life, you're not taking Stephenie?
No. No.
She's not in your top 5 choices.
No, I'm not counting on her to lie for me. That is not happening.
Definitely not. Any final thoughts on Stephenie before we pivot a little bit?
No, I think I said it all. Like I said, I used to be more of a fan, and I think the game has evolved even more in the last few years. And I just think you could see she's been out of the game for a little bit. I don't think she had to lie all that much on her original 2 seasons. And I don't think she lasted long enough on Heroes versus Villains to really get an opportunity to.
Yeah.
She really pissed off a lot of people on Guatemala. And I really need to go back. Honestly, I remember kind of being in the Stephenie fog of loving her on Palau, and I watched Guatemala blindly rooting for Steph. I've yet to go back and watch it, and I'm actually kind of want to go back and watch it now to see if, as an older player not a player. Maybe one day. As an older watcher who was obsessed with Stephenie back in the day, and now seeing her play 50, maybe my clouded judgment might change rewatching Guatemala. So, listen, I'm a sentimental person. I had a time where I truly was obsessed with Steph, and I look back and I feel the growth of my time and the type of player I like to watch. So respect to the player that I once knew in Palau and Guatemala, Stephenie.
All right. That's a nice send off. That's as nice as we can
I'm trying.
All right. Pivoting a little bit. When I saw the auction, I was like, let's go. Survivor auction, top 10. This is going to be fun. We've all seen the Survivor auction. It is a classic. Some seasons it appears, some seasons it doesn't. My reaction when Jeff said comfort and chaos was the same as the players. Like, what are you talking about?
I know.
When you saw a Survivor auction, you a fan? Not so much?
I love the auction. Love the auction.
Anything stand out to you in particular during this auction?
Yes, I think it's kind of been a theme this season of Jeff really, and we'll talk about it even more with the Mr. Beast of it all, really hyping things up. And like with the blood moon, with like reframing things that have been done before in a way that makes it seem unique. We all love the auction. Just call it the auction. I was confused by the comfort and chaos. I'm like, what are they talking about? To me, the bugs aren't chaos. That is part of the auction. Like, why are we calling this something different?
I know what all the players were thinking. They were all thinking, oh my God, like if I lose an auction, am I out of the game?
Yes, that's what I was like, oh God, is every good thing going to come with a twist? And it took me until like 2 or 3 times to be like, oh wait, he's just calling chaos like eating bugs, and a chaos is you both have to team up. Like, I didn't even hate the teaming up thing, and like you paid for this person to eat the bug and then Rizzo gets the cookies. I didn't hate it. I like, but just frame it as an auction. Like the Survivor auction is back. Let's celebrate that. It doesn't have to be this, oh, there's more chaos this time and all that. So yeah, it just seemed like it was a setup. Honestly, the whole comfort and chaos thing just seemed like a nice intro for the Mr. Beast twist. They all knew they were going to pay $20 for their family letter, so they knew they were going to get that. So, I
feel like producer Jeff was like in his trailer, you know, in his little producer Jeff ChatGPT, like, how can I improve Survivor auction? Here's a theme, producer Jeff, comfort and chaos. Oh, that's good. I like that.
100%.
And every player, it wasn't like a couple. Devin's face was like, what was he smoking before he came out? What is he talking about?
All confused. It was confusing. So all in all, did I like the Survivor auction? Yeah, I love the auction, but I felt like it didn't need to have that label on it, because to me it was just a regular Survivor auction which again, can we maybe hide a scroll in a cookie jar? Like,
I know.
Can you get me, like, come on. Like, the idols have been nothing this season. Like, the boomerang idols are literally, they've been useless at the end of the day. So it was a great fun for the start, but like, give us something else. I want like a better twist than like this. Like, I want a twist that's for someone that they can hold the idol. I don't know. I just wanted a little bit more of that.
I agree with you. And there's been things, you know, they could have brought back the idol nullifier.
Yes.
They could have actually put a clue in place to search for an idol. You know, like there were so many missed opportunities here.
Yep.
Before we get to the Mr. Beast of the auction, 2 things that I just was dying. One, you know, I love Ozzy. I have infinite amounts of it.
Really, really grown on me this season.
And how much luck has he had this season? He gets basically the fried chicken and mashed potatoes of Jonathan's auction win. Jonathan has to eat a slug that I can't even describe it. And kudos to the sound production, because when Jonathan bit into that slug, it was like you could hear that.
No, I can just picture it now.
And then Suri with the ultimate puke and rally. If I didn't love Suri enough, Suri puking. Suri goes for comfort, gets a charcuterie plate, pukes, and says, "I'm coming back for that."
Yeah, it was so iconic. I go, this is why I love her.
Can we just
She
give her
was
the $2
killing me
million?
The whole auction. The whole auction was cracking me up.
Yeah, she, you know, she has carried the season, and I have to admit, I thought some of the air went out when Christian got voted out. To your point, as much as I could quibble with some of Christian's gameplay, I'll take 10 Christians that are going for it versus 10 Joes that are just kind of like, well, I'm loyal to my people and I don't know what's going to happen after that.
100%.
And if they lost Suri, I mean, the air goes out of this thing fast.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, and I'm fearful of that. Like, I just want my show. I want my show to feel good to the end, and I want Suri to win it all. But like, I at least want her to be there to the end because I want to feel that excitement to the end. Because I think she just brings that. She feels like home and comfort. Whenever they go to her, I'm like, okay, Suri, bring us back to reality here. Like, what can we do? It's just, I just love seeing her on my screen.
Yeah,
like playing Survivor.
So, I guess we should talk about the Mr. Beast of it. I'll say this.
Ignore it.
If this were, it's probably for the young folk, because if this were Tom Cruise coming on the beach with a Mission Impossible style clue, I would have passed out. I couldn't be on the pod right now. But, hearing Jeff genuflect to thank you. Is he Beast, by the way? Is it Jimmy Beast?
I think it's Mr. Beast, but then he kept calling him Jimmy. Like, I don't know much about him, honestly. Like, I really don't know much about Mr. Beast. I know he has his own game show now that's on its second season that is supposed to be crazy, and he does like these crazy things. And apparently he's a very generous guy. He gives away a lot of money to people. Like, I get it.
I don't care how generous you are. I am always suspicious of somebody who talks through a smile. Did you notice? I mean, he was smiling the whole way.
So true.
I don't. It's probably before you were supposed to be my young person decoder on this, and it's probably before your time.
I know.
Way back in the 30s. Do you know what? Do you know who Mortimer Snurd was?
No.
Anyway, Mortimer Snurd. You can look it up. He was a ventriloquist. Jimmy looked like Mortimer Snurd without the hat. It's crazy.
Okay, I can so see it with the. He really was just the whole time. Maybe he's just happy to be there, Kevin.
Happy to be there. So Jeff is like basically Jeffing out. Thank you for coming by our little show in its 50th season, and you're so big. Talk me through it. Talk me down. Tell me, what did you think of the Mr. Beast?
Again, here's what I'll say. I think it was. Knowing that Miss Beast was coming on, I think I went in with a very negative attitude, thinking the worst. I was like, this is going to be the worst. This is going to ruin everything. It's going to throw everything off. I'll say this. Out of all the celebrity twists this season, between the Zac Brown visit, the Billie Eilish Boomerang Idol, the Jimmy Fallon, I actually do think this was the best of all of them. I think, again, it's the selling of it. I think Jeff is overhyping this. This is the great, even like at Tribal trying to get Suri. What don't you think this was the best thing ever? I'm like, Suri literally convinced a guy to take an immunity necklace off of his neck. You're trying to tell this woman that Mr. Beast coming here to flip a coin is more impressive Survivor than this? I think if you're a casual Survivor watcher and you're not a true fan of the game and you're flipping through how amazing they just doubled the prize pot. This is incredible. A flip of a coin doubled it. Yeah, that's great. That's not the type of Survivor that I think of as the best times of Survivor and legendary moments. Was it cool? Yes. Was it a great thing? Yes. Did it work out in the production's favor? Yes. Like, if this did not go successfully, it would have been a flop completely.
100%. Like, if it was just like Tails and...
Yeah. If it was Tails and even Devin's going, that great. And also, if it was Suri going, I would have like flipped. I would have been here and like staging a protest. Like if
Suri drew the rock and then had to flip and then got out.
I don't necessarily care all that much about Devins. I think he's playing a fun game. He's not playing a winning game, but he's having fun with it and fine. So when Devins was the one to do it, I'm like, if it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I wasn't emotionally invested. But also, not to be like a meta in the meta of it all, he flipped the coin at 9:40 p.m. I watched it live. There was 20 minutes left in the episode. He was going to land it on heads.
Maybe somebody was going to fake a fall or something.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I almost wish they saved it to the last minute, because then I would have been like, oh, he's going home. And then like maybe it landed, and then I would actually been happy if we start next episode with the vote. Fool me a little bit. Like, I just knew. I was like looking at the clock. I was texting my mom. I go, he's gonna make. They went to commercial break at 9:40. I'm like, clearly he's gonna land this coin because we have 20 minutes left. We got to have a vote. So I just think, like, here's what I'll say. I think that, and again, and listen, I don't know if this is 100%. They kept leaning into the whole uncertainty of the Mr. Beast thing is the reason this tribal was so electric, because of the uncertainty of Mr. Beast. I don't even think that's the case, to be honest. I think it's impossible. I wasn't on the island, but like, I think that once again, it's the selling of it. I think this was one of the best tribals yet. I thought the Devons laying it all out there, telling exactly what happened with Stephenie. I think that was great. And I thought it was a great game move. I don't know if it was necessarily like motivated by the uncertainty of Mr. Beast, but to the point of where I get back to where I started, if the coin flip after all that amazing work that Devons did at Tribal, and it was a live tribal, they were getting into it, then canceled out the tribal and just go back, it would have been a flop.
It would have been a flop.
I think we're lucky that it went well. The producers are lucky and happy that it was successful. And I think it was a great opportunity for Devons. I know we have talked about it. It was like a shot in the dark, but like a 1 in 2 chance. Like, why not take it?
Did Mr. Beast put up the $1 million? Was that kind of the idea here? It was his own.
I do think he put up the $1 million. He's like, but this is like his thing. Apparently, he like gives money to people and like does like random challenges. And like, listen, here's what I'll say. Apparently, his TV show is like pretty crazy. Like, he does a lot of things about like trust and like, if hit this button and you personally will take home 250,000, but you like knock out your whole team. He does a lot of crazy things. People do enjoy Beast games. I don't watch it, but I can respect somebody trying to do something creative and fun. Like, I think, like I said, of all the twists this season, this was probably my favorite of the celebrity twists. But yeah, it was good. I can't deny it was fun. It was exciting. It was good TV. I'm not going to take that away from it. It wasn't pure Survivor. And do I think it was the best twist in Survivor history? No. But was I excited? Was I cheering and happy when they got the extra $1 million? Yes. And I was more excited that we got to have a vote because I thought that the tribal was going really well. So I was like, oh, yes, let's see what actually comes out of this. So
I agree with you. Very compelling TV. Kind of a no-brainer for Devons, though, no?
Yeah, I think so. It was kind of like, why not? And it's just so up his alley.
He gets to keep his shot in the dark, which is normally a 1 in 6.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of 1 in 6 and no vote, he gets a 50-50 in immunity idol.
Yeah.
He's safe on top of that, and he still gets to vote. Yeah. This is like, I'm surprised he didn't knock Jeff over to get to the coin.
It was a jackpot. Like, I mean, it was there. And so the funniest thing I saw out of this episode was Rizzo tweeting out afterwards and going, I was about to go flip the coin and I looked over at Sari and she gave me a look like sit down right now because she couldn't lose him. So I love that. Listen, you have a player like Rizzo. I'm sure Rizzo would have loved this moment. Like that, it would have been a moment. Devons doing this is so Devons. You know, when Devons stood up, Jeff, his heart fluttered out of his chest that it was Devons doing it. Oh my gosh, he probably loved every second of it. So yeah. It was a no-brainer. I think for his situation, I think he had to do it.
Yeah, Devons is, it was his own survival, and it got him new life in the game because now he has power, and he has a couple of pathways here where he can, he could be the guy now to get to 7 and maybe mix it up.
Yeah, I think Devons also knows, like, he's played a game so far that he's played a really dynamic game and an exciting game. And if Devons makes the final, he's going to win. But I don't know if he's going to make the final. I don't think he's playing a winning game because so many people know he is doing so much. I don't think he's not playing a game to get there.
I think about, I certainly think about the season that Charlie lost, which was 46.
Yeah, 46.
Sometimes I try and block that one out. And I think about Michelle's season, Karang when she beat Aubrey. And so much of those seasons came down to the jury composition. And, I was trying to do jury math in my head. I think Devins would have a lot of trouble with jury math. Like,
Yeah,
no
this
matter
season,
what
yeah.
combo you put him at the end with, right? Pick any other two people. When you start to break down the jury, like he's going to have, Coach isn't voting for him. Chrissy's not voting for him. I don't think Dee's
No.
voting for him.
Joe hates him.
And Joe's not voting for him. And so you get to 6 people pretty quick who are not voting for him.
Yeah.
And then if you take into account he's going to have to do something pretty duplicitous to get to final 3. I don't know. Ozzy's not voting for him.
Yeah.
So the math gets really hard for, like, it'll be exciting. He might make a run to, final 4 like he did in Edge of Extinction. But I think winning the game and getting there, he didn't manage the jury well. He's going with this, chaos Cass, almost like, remember Ben from, Ben, of course, from here, he's almost playing a game like Ben played, except for he's not making the flashy moves. He's just bringing all the chaos.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. I mean, the jury composition is very interesting this season. I just don't know what way they're going to vote. Let's see who gets there. It's going to be very interesting to see what they value, what they don't value, because I mean, personally, like, I don't think Jonathan's playing the best game in the world. I don't. But he seems to have a lot of friends on the jury and a lot of people that respect the game he's playing. So we'll see. He makes me nervous.
So that's a good place to pivot here. You have, and I think it became really clear this episode, if you kind of go through the steps of how everything ran around here, everything started on Devins. Then it was a little bit of, well, let's split the vote. For a bit, it was, we're going to split it. Devins, and you even saw Ozzy and Sri trying to do the math. I'll vote Aubrey. You're going to vote Devins. We're going to split the vote. Then Jonathan starts to scheme and look, Aubrey and Jonathan need to scheme. Devins is desperate. Why Stephenie jumps into this, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But then Ozzy's name starts going around. Ozzy's name goes around. Ozzy's name gets to Joe. Joe gets to Suri. Suri doesn't want Ozzy going home. And then all of a sudden it's pure chaos, right? It's on Stephenie. It's kind of off of Ozzy. It's back on Aubrey. And I think it really settled on Devins here. But within those battle lines, you kind of saw you have Suri, Ozzy, Rizzo, and Tiffany real tight. And then you've kind of got Emily, Devins, and Aubrey, like this chaos trio.
Yeah. And
then sort of in this like weird middle zone are Joe and Jonathan. And the question is the next group to get targeted, right? Like, we cannot have Joe sitting at the end with Coach and Chrissy and all his pals there. Or does like the chaos combo of Devins and Aubrey manage to convince the middle, we got to bust up Suri, Ozzy, and Rizzo here. We got to take a shot.
As much as this pains me to say this, I think we're also starting to see Aubrey start to work with Jonathan a bit. I think that's a relationship that's been budding because she was also in the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she's kind of picking it up. I'll say more about Aubrey in a second, but to answer your question, as much as it truly pains me, I actually think one of the wonderful Wizard of Oz is heading out in the near future. I just think there have been these like kind of little voting blocks happening. I think it goes back and forth between, like, it started with D, then you would think Tiff would be the next one. Nope, they went to Coach and Chrissy, and then okay, nope, let's go back to Christian, and then there's these back and forths, and I think that one little group has been the only one not hit yet. And I will say, this episode was the first time since the merge that people re-brought up how close Suri and Ozzy are. I was like almost wondering, are people not realizing it again? And I was like, oh wait, no, okay, people are acknowledging this. So unfortunately, as much as I don't want it to happen, I really do think that now that there's only 2 of the Joe and Jonathan, and now you have a 3, and now Tiff is very close with Suri, it seems, I think I think what's going to happen is the Joe and Jonathan, mostly Jonathan, is going to go to Aubrey, and then Aubrey's going to turn Emily and Rick. And I think you've got 5 right there going against the potential 4.
Yeah, it feels like Joe's going to end up in the middle here because you've got you kind of have the Cerie's court, Cirie, Ozzy, Rizzo, Tiffany. You've got the chaos foursome, Jonathan, Aubrey, Devins, Emily, and it puts Joe right smack in the middle.
Yeah.
And I honestly, Joe is so unpredictable. I think his head might explode.
I don't think he knows what he's doing, to be honest with you.
I was hoping that Cirie could manage this to get to 7 and keep the firepower. Because I think if she got to 7 with 2 idols and an extra vote, she gets, she can get to final 3.
Agreed.
She's so good socially. I mean, she could do the math. I just think, I think she's going to survive and I think she'll keep her alliance intact, but I think she's going to have to start burning some firepower.
Yeah.
And, and Devin said it in the lead up to Tribal because Aubrey and I think it was him and Aubrey were talking about who might play idols. And Devin was like, Rizzo's not going to play it. He's never going to play his idol. And there could be a scenario here where Cherie's like, look, you guys got to play your idols. And they know Rizzo's not going to play it and they go after him.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. I think one of her crew is going home, which also I do have to say, Rizzo could say a lot about his season, and I love that he was very upfront and honest. I don't know if he needed to say the detail about the fact that he never played his idol, because that is something that they didn't need to know and they don't know. So I don't know why he's telling people that.
No, I have to tell you, though, I love Rizzo. We will see him again.
Oh, 100%.
Rizzo and Tiffany really are the breakout second-time players this season.
Yeah, I just adore, I say it every time. And I'll say this, and I have been hearing it more and more about in the exit press. The last 2 episodes, we have not really seen a lot from Rizzo. I even don't think a lot of confessionals. And I do think it's because a lot of people were saying he has been violently ill.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Somebody, I think even in Stephanie's exit press, she said when Rizzo got the chicken and the broccoli, he didn't even eat it. He took a bite or 2 and couldn't even stomach it. I just think he's not at his best. I'm not seeing the vibrant Rizzo that I have been, and I do think it's truly because of the elements. Not saying he's still not entertaining, and not saying I don't think he's going to absolutely crush it, but he's feeling the pain, and I still love the kid, and he's one of my top picks of who I really hope pulls it out.
I would have no problem seeing Rizzo get to final 3. I don't know if this jury would give him the win, but he has earned it. He's played really well this season.
Agreed.
And I was thinking about it. This is one of those moments, Ozzy or Tiffany have got to win individual immunity this week.
Yeah.
If you look back at season 40, the winter season, there were a couple of moments where Tony, I don't know if you remember, Tony went on a little back-to-back immunity idol winning streak. And I think it was at 8 and 9. And if you can win immunity here and get the power, all of a sudden you've got immunity, you've got 2 idols, and it really does become a situation where then you can start to press the vote. You've got immunity, so you can freely throw names out there, and you can target Joe or you can target Jonathan. This is one of those moments where, and I'm sure Jonathan and Joe are thinking the same thing. We got to get immunity so we can control the vote. And for all his career wins, this is a big one for Ozzy.
Yeah, I think he's got to win it. I think he needs to win it for the sake of Cirie and all them too. If they're going to start targeting people, we got to make sure you got an idol here, a immunity necklace there, kind of like how Savannah and Rizzo did it.
Yeah.
The reason that Rizzo's idol was so powerful was because Savannah was protected a lot of times with her own individual immunity.
Savannah's a good one. She had an uncanny ability to win immunity. Rachel in 47, before just when Genevieve was going to get her, she wins immunity. And this is, you could feel it building. That chaos foursome wants to have some power, and they don't have any right now. Devin's got an idol. He can protect himself. If they can get immunity here, and all of a sudden, the key is if they have immunity, they can tell Joe, we want to go after Cirie. We want to go after Rizzo. If they don't have it, they have a lot harder time doing that.
Yeah. And I know we're saying chaos foursome. I don't think Jonathan wants to work with them, but I think he will have no choice to work with them. I don't think he likes Devins at all.
chaos is the nicest thing I could say about Jonathan. He's a lot to take.
Agreed.
It's just
Agreed.
the lies, and it's not just the lies.
Gaslighting.
It's a lot of I'm lying, but I'm going to really judge you for lying.
Agreed. And I hate that. He's
Yeah.
like a coach. Honestly, that's
There
really
was-
where it's at.
There was a moment right at the start of the episode, right after they had voted out Christian, they had gotten back to camp late at night, and Ozzy goes, "Rick Devens, backstabby, stabby, backstabber Devens," and Devens looked at him like, "We're all backstabbers," and then they hugged it out. And it was fine.
Yeah,
Jonathan's not like that. Jonathan
Yeah,
is cold.
Yep. And I can't stand that type of player. You got deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. So a couple other things before we look ahead here. I want to give a shout out to Tiffany. Another really great performance in a challenge.
I'm loving her.
Outduels Ozzy. Ozzy could have tied the record, and I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, she was.
Yeah. She crushed it. I'm really loving Tiff. I have to say. So 46 is the season that I missed, and I am just... I really love Tiff. She also had my favorite moment of the episode. I don't know if you caught it at Tribal when it was the live Tribal, and Emily is standing there going, "Well, Stephenie has to steal a vote," and Tiff literally goes, "What's she gonna do? Steal all our votes? Like, she can't steal all our votes." I was dying. I go, "Tiff, exactly." But that's so Emily. She's just like, "Oh, but she has to steal a vote. Okay, she can steal one person's vote. There's 8 of us standing here. I think we're okay." Like,
yeah.
But just Tiff has been, I've really been loving her, and I think she's a challenge threat, and I hope she goes far. I'd love to see her go to the end.
Hearing you say that makes me happy, because when I look at Tiff, she to me is like modern day Ozzy. She's great in challenges, not the best like super strategic social game. Helps that she's another one. Helps that she's with Suri to kind of read the tea leaves here, but unbelievably likable. Great on the island, never having a hard time with anybody, and I would take it to the bank. We will see her again.
Yeah, I would love to.
All right, I have 2 other just out of left field questions for you, because I was thinking about this after the episode, and watching, when the season was starting, I thought Joe was going to have a really hard time on the island. Like the scar tissue, I figured he'd be out fast. And
I remember when we talked about it, and I predicted him that he could win.
He hasn't, and he hasn't gone out fast. But let me ask it just straight out: is Joe bad at Survivor?
That is a great question. Let's say this: I think Joe is a great human being. I think Joe showed us that with Eva. He is a very loyal person. He is a strong challenge threat. He's very good in challenges. Joe is not good at Survivor. No, the answer is he's not.
What did Coach call him? The stone monk?
Yeah. Well, he's just stone, because he is just... Listen, I'm learning this season my dislike for Joe in 48 was not because of him being a bad person or a bad player. It was just I was bored by what he does and the way he plays the game. And I think in 48 he was surrounded by a lot of people who wanted to play the same type of, like, it honestly is basic as it sounds. It's want to do nothing but just stick with the same people you made a commitment to, and that's it. Like, that's all he's capable of doing. That's all he did on 48. And he made 0 strategic moves, and he's continuing to make 0 strategic moves this season. He just happens to be, again, with people that he deems as loyal, and then gets so angry and upset when anybody potentially betrays him. I'm like, does he not realize where he is, what show he's on? Listen, I think Joe is a likable person, but Joe is... Survivor to him is, let's get a majority of people work together and then just vote out someone, and not do any sort of, like, all right, manipulation or at all. Like, it's just, I just don't think this game is made for Joe.
Yeah. When you just sort of look at side by side, right? And I realize this is like comparing a Hall of Famer to, somebody who can't get out of the minor leagues.
Mhm.
Stephenie lied to Suri one time, and Suri got her out of the game.
Yeah.
Joe has not been able to get his day one rival out of the game for 19 days.
Yeah.
19 days.
Uh-huh. The thing is, like, Suri will go around and work a situation. Like, he's just going, I don't like Rick. We need to get him out. But, like, play some moves. Go talk to Stephenie. Say, hey, I don't think Rick is really great. You have a steal a vote. Well, even they didn't know it at that point. But, like, try to get things going. Like, get in people's heads about Rick. But he just is like, well, we got to get Rick out. He's chaotic. It's like, okay. Like, I don't know what else he wants to do. So,
or
sadly,
how about some quid pro quo? You see it all the time. I'll vote Christian this week. Next week, it has to be to your point, there's no strategy here. It's just, take me to the next vote. I expect
that's
that.
all it is. Zero strategy. And it's not like, listen, but it's not even the Sandra strategy of as long as it's not me. That's not his mentality. It's just, well, I'm not betraying anybody. He literally couldn't even write coach's name down fully on the paper because he couldn't betray him. Like, it was like scribbles for his coach. So it was just like, I don't know. I just think Joe has a different concept of how this game is played. And I just think it's not for him.
Joe would have been great in Survivor All-Stars Season 8 with no individual power, being like the fourth person in Boston Rob's alliance. And then when Rob said, oh, it's 4, it's your time to go home, Joe said, okay.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100%.
Last topic. And this is I've been biting my tongue on this one for a while. I appreciated Emily's sort of metamorphosis when she played on 45. I thought she had a really tough start that season. I thought she actually did a really not just admirable job. I thought she excelled at building relationships, gaining trust with D, and I think she was out 5th in that game. And she went out, I think, because somebody played an idol and she ended up being the vote.
I want to say she was 7th. I think
7th.
She was 7th.
But I got to tell you, she came into 50, and I don't know that she came to play 50. She came to be in a day one alliance with Christian.
Yeah.
And I could live with that because that's fine. Like, that's going to happen. But Ozzy's my guy. And if I have to see her eyes blow up wide every time somebody suggests Ozzy's name, it's driving me crazy. So I started thinking, maybe we could just recast this part. And I wanted to ask you,
Emily Flippin.
I want to recast Emily. We need, if it wasn't, I want to be kind of specific about this because it's a second-time player, and I think we should keep it within the parameters of a balanced game, right? Survivor wanted another female player. Okay. Like, I would have loved to have seen Andy from 47 play again. Operation Italy was one of my favorite schemes ever.
Yeah.
Let's leave that aside. Let's try and keep it to a second-time female player.
Okay.
Get me somebody who at least wants to hit that beach and not just take Ozzy out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say before I give my answers, I think Emily is just, and she worked with Ozzy and like was with him and like it was so quick to turn on him. I just think Emily has just been chaotic this entire game. I don't know if it's that she doesn't like. She didn't come to play. I think she came to overplay. I just think she's been playing a really sloppy game. I don't hate Emily. I did like her metamorphosis, but like I feel like she's not making any right moves. I feel like every move she's making has been wrong, but she's somehow still there. So,
I defended her when folks were giving her a hard time because she was brokering information. I thought it was a double standard. You need to broker information to get ahead. But then it's dawned on me, she didn't really do that. She just can't help herself.
It's true. She really cannot help herself. So, all right, I like this fun little game. And I'm going to give you, okay, so here's what I'll say. I have 2 names for you. And let me just preface, I would have given you 2 women anyway, because I'm So, I'll say this. Let's stick to one because I think Emily's a new era player. So I'll give you a new era, but then I want to give you, if I was to pick any woman who's only played one time that could play for a second time, I'll give you another. So we'll start with the new era. If I had to pick a woman from the new era that I think would have been a really great representative of the new era, it would have been Shan from 41.
Oh, I love Shan.
I think she would have been really fun to see. I think Shan was a great strategist. She ran a lot of that season. She was what many people were saying was this big strategic threat, a big social threat. She was great in confessionals. It was like the Shan like music, like they had like a thing. I think Shan was great. So
I give her credit for inventing the new era. She's the one who came up with the drop the 4, keep the 1.
Mm-hmm. It's true. It really is like she was that first. And you know what? Sometimes we don't have anybody from 41. I think we just kind of look at the new era that was 5 years ago. It's like kind of like recency bias a little bit, like, oh, she was the way we didn't think of her. I really think she was a great representative of the new era. It was the first one. So she would be my pick for a new era player. And okay, let me give you a one-time player who people don't talk about enough.
I'm excited.
She was involved in one of the most iconic moments of all time, alongside legends of the game. I would love to see Natalie Bolton play again.
Wow.
Natalie Bolton, Survivor Micronesia, helped get that necklace from Eric. I think Natalie was such a fun player. She was in the Black Widow Brigade.
Now that you mention it, I wonder why she hasn't ever played again.
And she was actually, fun fact, she was an alternate for Heroes versus Villains.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was an alternate as well. So
Villains Tribe, I assume.
Yes, the Villains Tribe, because the taking out the necklace. So I actually think she's been somebody who has wanted to come back. I think she would have been an incredible person to come back. So I always want to root for Natalie Bolton return one day. She is definitely, so if you're giving me a one-time player who I'd have loved to see come back, Natalie Bolton is on my list.
Oh, I love that pick. You know, you're 100% right. We got to see Eric come back for second chances. Why can't we get Natalie?
Agreed. She was a big part of that plan. She is the one who really pulled it out of him.
That would be fun.
She got the necklace.
All kidding. Those excellent choices. And all kidding aside, you know, these shows are hard to cast, and so you don't ever know who's going to hit the beach and play. I thought Angelina would hit the beach and play so hard, and she really just kind of wanted to play with Mike and Christian, and then it was over. Yeah. And so you just don't know. But I have to admit, as someone who was really excited to see Emily get after it, it's been a lot of like, it feels like she's afraid to come out of her shell.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's almost like it's so much. Yeah, it's a shame. She's had some entertaining moments, so I'll say that. And listen, she's still in it. We can say a lot. She's in the top 9, 24 people played. She's still there. So you know what? Maybe she's doing something right.
All right, let's end with this, because I ask you this every time you come on. 19 days down, 7 days to go. Who is going to win Survivor Season 50?
Okay, my pick has been updated, Kevin.
This is going to hurt me. I feel like you're going to hurt me. You're going to hurt me deep here.
I know. My pick has been updated. And it's honestly, a lot of it is because I think at this point in the game, I read into a little bit of the editing of like the show, and listen, the show we love. I'm going to dive into like, we're making a show, we're producing stories, and you don't want somebody to randomly win. That's like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. Why did they win? I mean, there are some players that I think like Erica was kind of out of left field. Gabler was out of left field. So maybe they're throwing us with some things, but I have to tell you, my winner pick at the moment, though I don't love it, it's not the worst case scenario.
I'm scared.
I'm going to say it's going to be Aubrey.
Oh, okay. I'd be okay with Aubrey.
I know. I hope it's not Jonathan, who's another one who I think is getting somewhat of a winner's edit, but I'm going to go Aubrey right now. And here's what I'll say. I was on this podcast a few episodes ago saying that, and we both talked about it, like, what is Aubrey doing? Like, I even went so far to say, like, this may be why she lost in 32. Like, maybe just this is the person they were seeing on the island. And I will be honest, Aubrey's first half of this game has been sloppy. It has been just, she's been lucky she hasn't gone to tribal. I don't love what she did to Genevieve. I really don't. I think she got very lucky that she was placed with the 3 people that could get Genevieve out. She was lucky she was given an idol. She then played that idol poorly and said she made a mistake. It just felt sloppy. And I know we got on this call and said that. So I'm not here to say like I made a mistake in what I said about her. I stand by what I say for what the first half of the game. However, the confessional this episode of talking about, and now recently she's been talking to Jonathan. She's starting to realize, hey, I need to start playing my end game. And I'm a sentimental guy. I kind of loved that she brought up Michelle and saying, like, this is the game that Michelle played. She picked it up at the end. And I know a game can be won in the final stretches of this game. And I think this was the show saying, here she is, and she's ready to start to do something. And I do think that Aubrey is going to take this second half of the game. And I hope that she does something big. I don't want it to be to get Cirie out of my own feelings, but I hope she makes some bold strategic moves that makes me feel like she really deserves it. But I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that I think at this point in time, from the way things are feeling, and I think she's actually in a fairly good position, I think Aubrey is going to win Survivor 50.
Wow. That would be a all-time turnaround if you just take her season as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much dead on the beach when, on the outs with Kyle and Genevieve and that crew.
Yeah.
And then really, to your point, just a sort of low impact, like what is she doing, middle part of the game to, drop the clutch and throw it into fifth gear here and make a couple big moves and get to the end, outpitch whoever she sits with. That would be something. I like Aubrey, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, I like Aubrey. I have liked Aubrey. I liked Aubrey and I liked Michelle. I just think this season I've been confused by Aubrey. I don't like what she did to Genevieve. I just thought it was a weird interaction with Genevieve and a dislike for no reason. But if she can earn it, listen, I'd rather her win than Jonathan or Joe at this point. So, or Emily. Honestly, I'd put her above those 3 in my who I would be okay seeing win. So listen, if she earns it, let's see what she's got.
Yeah, it would be a little bit of a letdown because I think we're all at this point looking forward to seeing Cirie, Ozzy, Rizzo, and Tiffany kind of go at it.
Yes.
I mean, I would, if they ever got Cirie and Ozzy in fire making, I mean, that might be the all-time high point of the show.
I know. And I would love it. I'm hopeful. I am. Maybe I'm preparing myself for the worst and reading into the edits too much so I'm not let down, because I would love to see Cirie, Rizzo, and Ozzy there.
If you got Cirie to the end and you got Tiffany and Ozzy in fire making to see who goes to pitch against her, that would be a classic. There's a pathway here, though, where, if you lose that alliance and all of a sudden you're left with, let's say you get a final 5 of Emily, Devins, Jonathan, Joe, and Aubrey. It's a little bit of air out of the balloon. And I know Survivor Final 5 always delivers. Whoever gets there tends to have the big moments that deliver.
Yeah.
But there's been so much build up right now for Cirie, and it'd be tough.
Yeah, if she's not there, at least in the final episode, to fight for her spot, it would be heartbreaking, and it would take the wind out of the sail of the season. I would feel less excited to turn on my TV every day to watch this show, and that makes me sad. Obviously, I'm going to watch to the end. I love it, but if she was to go, her and Rizzo, I'll say this. If Cirie does go, I'm really pulling hard for Rizzo. I really am, but I don't know. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to see what happens, and I'm hopeful, but I'm going to prep and say that I think it's going to be Aubrey. Maybe just to let myself sink in, to accept it over the other option. But my hopeful pick is Cirie. But I'm going to go logically, and a fan of reading these games, I'm going to go Aubrey.
Well, you're making your case based on the edit right now. And certainly, her career arc, Rob won it in his 4th try in Redemption Island. I think he's the only one to ever win it in their 4th try.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no. I mean, he is. That would be the only one that would make sense.
So she would join a pretty exclusive club at that point, and would
Yeah.
firmly place herself way ahead of Stephenie for sure.
Yeah. That's for sure.
All right, bud. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of course, Kevin. It was a blast. I'm looking forward to see what happens in the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll be catching up again soon.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, Kev.
Bye-bye. All right. That is it for the pod. I want to thank my pal Mike for coming on, chatting for an hour, diving deep on Survivor. His pick is Aubrey now for the season. That would be interesting. You know, Aubrey, 4-time player, almost wins in Karang, had a good run in Game Changers, a little bit of a short run in Edge of Extinction. Aubrey would be a very popular win here. I want to thank everyone out there for listening. If you like this episode, feel free to follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find the video for this podcast on YouTube. Every week, I will make announcements on Instagram and X when new episodes are available. My handle is @KevinsKetchup. We'll be back next week with an all-new episode. Everybody have a great week. Thank you. Bye-bye.